Shout out to Matt Canada. He's been in the lab this all season, bro. But it's funny how
you sure it's not Kenny telling him what to do?
I know for a fact what I'm watching, bro. I know for a fact what I watch. People gonna paint it however they want to paint it, but it's a clear.
Sure, Kenny didn't give him all these.
It's
concepts?
a clear difference, man. But the funny thing is, this is a clear difference when you watch him call the calls for different quarterbacks. Though, this is the first time where I really see him like really put his thumbprint on certain calls, and then you can see the vanilla calls as well afterwards. So, like with Kenny.
A lot of motion. I'm seeing some motion.
Bro, every single play, you might align empty, shift back, motion, change of strength motion. Every single play is multiple pieces moving, and I love it because for a defense, it is hell. When you talk about having to communicate line to empty or line in this formation, we're going to shift to another formation. Now we got to check our call. Now you're going to give us change of strength motion. That changes all of the coverage now. So now we got to communicate again. And then you might change it again. Like I done seen one where it was like, yo, they aligned in one thing, shifted to another formation, flipped the tight ends, gave you change of strength motion, and then threw that joint over here. I'm like, bro, it was a blown coverage. They had no clue what to do.
Is it the Pickens touchdown?
Yes, absolutely. And I loved it. I'm like, yo, all that was scheme. That's all Canada. Y'all can say what y'all want about that man. He been in the lab. It was a beautiful throw and catch after that. But literally every time when he has his group that he wants to see certain plays with, you see all of that movement happening. And then you see where he's just kind of like, I just want my players to be players. And it is static. They just literally aligned Mason. When Mason was out there, it was static. So that's why I was kind of like, yeah, we can make a case that, oh, man, Mason's playing bad right now. But to me, I don't necessarily say that Mason's playing bad. I say defense made a good play.
Canada's
but also
sabotaging Mason.
But I don't say sabotaging. I just think it's certain things you want to see.
Yeah.
So you want to see the ones get all the movement because if they can handle it, then maybe we can give it to a 2-rep. But if my ones can't handle this, I'm not giving it to you guys. Nah, they got to figure this out before y'all can figure it out. That's just typically how you operate it. So when you watch the one group, everything is moving. They making it where it is very challenging on that defense to communicate. Very challenging on them. And then you see them other groups come out there and you're like, oh, just line up and then play ball. I'm like, you know, it's a blitz coming right now. I can see this blitz coming. Everybody can see this blitz coming. Nothing changes. Just call the call. I'm like, oh, this is nuts.
That's great to hear, though.
Yeah, but that's some of the context, though. And that's the thing where I'm like, they're not going to all talk about that like that because, number one, that doesn't fit a narrative. When you're trying to make a narrative about a Canada or about a Mason, it's like, yo, nobody wants to hear that. But in terms of just giving context of why Kenny has looked good at certain times or even why.
Yeah, you want to talk about most hated players.
Right.
We talked about approval rating. Most hated players, Canada, Mason.
Yeah, it's definitely Canada.
Top 5.
Yeah, definitely.
Easily.
Yeah.
Top 5. Yeah, Canada's 1.
Yeah, Canada's 1. Mason's what, 2?
Yeah, he's up there.
He's definitely in there, you know? So that was kind of how I felt. I'm like, yeah, could he have had a better read? Sure. But I think that if you're giving him the pre-snap shift and motion, change of strip, it's going to be a lot easier on him as well. But that's just the nature of when you're with the 3s and the 2s versus the 1s. 1s always get the sexy calls. Now, we also will get the more challenging stuff as well. But that's because we've earned it. We're the 1s. If you're not in that group, that's some of the stuff you got to deal with. The 2s is a sweet spot. 2s, you get a maybe 1 or 2 of the exotic. Everything else is vanilla. That 3 group, bro, they just calling basic calls, and you're just like, yo, figure it out. Can my guy be better than your guy? Yeah.
I'm liking what you're saying, though.
Yeah, man.
This offense got a little bit more potential than most would have thought, maybe.
Yeah, but no,
a little more electricity.
Seeing the amount of pre-snap movement on offense, I love it. I love that because as a defender, just knowing what that does, just you lining up in 2x2 and you going from 2x2 to 3x1, just that as a defense, you're like, all right, we got to talk this out. How we playing this? But then when you can go 2x2, shift to 3x1, then you motion it back over here to 2x2, you went right back to the exact same call that you wanted anyways. But as a defender, we've had to change it 3 times. In a stadium of 70,000.
And then you just snap it, maybe do a handoff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now we like, but we didn't have to do all of this stuff just for you to hand that ball off. But if he didn't get that check, now you got what you're looking for. If I'm a little late to the party because I was over here first, then when you shifted the formation, I had to go on this side of the ball. Then you changed strength motion. Now I got to flip back with this dude. Well, hey, man, am I still tripping on this A-gap or am I thinking about this coverage right now? That's some of the stuff. So now when you're talking Najee, okay, Najee eating. But now imagine when that play action pass comes after that, man, and you done all this.
You just hit him up the seam right
Come
there for
on,
a
bro.
touchdown. Yeah.
Come on, man. That's the stuff I'm like, man, that's what you need. That's the stuff where it's like, man, if these guys are as talented as we think they are, if you're going to make it a little bit easier for them, because now instead of them always having to win a one-on-one, you're actually scheming up guys getting open. That's the stuff where it's like, now you can see this offense take a next step, but you can also see this coordinator in terms of Matt Canada take a next step. It's one thing to get you a one-on-one. It's another thing when you're able to actually scheme something open. And that's some of the stuff where I'm hoping it will continue to translate from just a couple of practices that I've seen so far. But that was the part that did have me really optimistic about Matt Canada.